Welcome back, all our 40k fanatics out there. I'm DJ.
And I'm Lane.
And we are here with Tim's Nation to bring you another Warhammer 40k battle report. Returning by popular demand, the Imperial agents are taking a third and potentially final run for a little while here on the channel versus the Leagues of Votann. Haven't seen these guys for a while. Haven't really been playing them. So how's it feel to pack these guys up and bring them back on the channel and play them a little bit?
They're a lot of fun. I don't know how to build the Votann list. Like whenever I build a list, I have like all these ideas of how things are supposed to work together and how they're supposed to, and this is going to do this and this is going to do this. And Votann, I just take a bunch of stuff and we're just going to see how they do. Just a bunch of stuff.
There you go. And now, since last week was the first time I played the Imperial agents, got a little bit of a taste for them. Now we made some tweaks. We had some discussions about this. As you've seen in the army video, we got a new mindset with it. And this is going to be the second coming of the Imperial agents for me playing them, because I have a little more heart and faith behind the army to perform than some people over here.
I'm letting you borrow my precious Death Watch.
Not pointing any fingers.
All right. Well, at least you're seasoning the army properly this time by adding Death Watch in. So.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, our last matchup versus Custodes, I know there was definitely some things of like, oh, should have done this, should have done that. It was the first test run. Wanted to try some stuff out, wanted to see how certain things felt. And now I feel like this one, with what I've seen last week into this, I feel a lot stronger with this build and some of the ideas. And so I'm looking forward to getting this on the table and playing against the Leagues of Votann. And if it does really, really well to like phenomenally shock us, maybe we'll start looking at getting some of the stuff converted up to take to a tournament.
I guess it could happen. You could roll just so many sixes.
I know. I mean, this game's easy if you just roll sixes.
Just roll the sixes.
Just roll sixes. So, all right, guys, as always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do turn on the bell to get notified on all the content we bring you here on the channel. As I mentioned last week, been working hard on Discord. The Discord is complete. I have a couple of friends of mine who are testing a few things. It's very basic. It's not like testing like it's going to be some massive, crazy overhaul. But being the first time I've done Discord, I want to make sure everything's actually hooked up properly, because I was confusing myself with some of that stuff. So I got a buddy who's just checking to make sure I did everything right. And there'll be a video coming out later on, very short video that'll just say, hey, here's what it is, here's what it does. Come support us. All right, so that's the basis of that. Now we just need to introduce our factions to the fans for the fight today. Lane, what do you got?
Today, I am bringing exactly 2,000 points of the Leagues of Votann. Just going to go through the list here quickly. As DJ mentioned, if you guys want a little more detail on the units we're using, how we plan to use them, their special rules and everything, please check out our separate army videos. So today, I've only got one character, and I'm not giving up Assassinate, guys. They got one Iron champion, and he has the long list enhancement. We have one 10-man squad of Hearthkin warriors. We also have a 10-man squad of the Hernkin Jaegers. First time I'm using them, I don't have the actual models, so we just have a squad of Hearthkin warriors representing them today. We've got 3 Sagittars with high-last beam cannons, 2 squads of the Brokir Thunderkin with the Grav blast cannons. We've got 1 5-man squad of Chthonian Berserks. We've got 1 10-man of Einherjar Hearthguard. These guys have the fists and the plasma guns. We have 2 Hecaton land fortresses with bolt cannons and the SP conversion beamer up top. Then we've got 3 squads of Hernkin Pioneers, the jet bikes. I do have 1 6-man squad and then 2 3-mans, and these have the rotor cannons on them. And that's it. That's what I got. DJ, what are you bringing today?
All right, here's my mishmash of Imperial agent proxies. Proxies on parade, we'll call this. So we got, we're still doing the naval fleet, as we did before. And in this picture, you'll notice that there is I do not have the Caluxus and Eversword in here, but we are going to go with the Assassin option. So the Vindicare is actually going to be swapped out for the Eversword. We will keep the Calidus Assassin in there. Otherwise, the Necron Warriors are going to be my 20 Subjugators. I have 2 Rangers.
Subductors. You got it last time.
I got it all the time. My 2 squads of Rangers are actually going to be my Breachers. Then we have a mishmash for a Rogue Trader unit. Then we have 3 5-mans of the Voidsmen at Arms. Well, 6-man because they have a dog. We will have the 1 solo Navigator. Then we also have 2 Armiger Warglaves for that Melta action. And then last, but surely not least, to pack that extra punch that we needed so much, we are taking 2 Rhinos and filling it with Death Watch. That's going to be 3 5-man squads of Death Watch kill teams. led by a single Watchmaster. And making a return, Inquisitor Draxus will be played by a shark with a surfboard.
Back to the shark.
Hey, when in doubt, shark it out. So, speaking of proxies on parade, which is going to be the name of this video, proxies on parade, since we both have a couple proxies. Armies on parade was last weekend.
Yeah, if you don't have a Games Workshop, actual official Games Workshop store near you, but every year they do Armies on Parade. This is an actual GW store, not just a store that sells GW stuff, but one that's owned directly by GW. And every year they do Armies on Parade. Everybody gets to bring in a full display board of their army. You can do it however you want. You can make as much detail, put as much effort into it as one. Everybody just shows off their armies, and then people who are in the store that day vote for them, vote on their favorites. So I do this every year. I love doing it. This year I took my Kroot. I was going to do this whole Leagues of Votann mine display board. I was going to have them 2 levels and underground, and I just didn't have the energy to do it. So I just took my Kroot because I'm proud of the Kroot. They look pretty cool. And I did end up coming in 3rd place. So I got a nice little GW bronze medal for 3rd place. So happy with that. So continue my trend of having a bunch of awards, a bunch of trophies for painting my army, but none for playing my army yet. So we're going to keep out there hunting for the trophy for playing the game, but I'm very happy again to place there. And a special shout out to Ken, because 2 years ago I got 1st place. Ken didn't place. Last year Ken got 1st place. I didn't place. And then this year I beat Ken by 4 points in voting. So I just wanted to rub it in there a little bit. Ken, I got a trophy this year, so that's my 2 trophies to your 1. You're going to have to bring in your A game next year. So, but it's always a lot of fun. You see a couple pictures of my army up there. So that's
Nice. Yeah, we're very proud of that, Lane. That's an awesome looking army. Definitely a lot of time, because that's a lot of models.
Yeah,
into that army.
Yeah, it's a full display board, but still only 2,000 points of Kroot.
We'll definitely have to get them back on the channel here soon in the near future versus something. But for right now, it's about Votann and Imperial agents. Odd or even, my friend?
Even.
Stay. No. Not this time. All right, so it is odd. You said even.
Mm-hmm.
So you can deploy first.
Okay.
And we'll be back after deployment. And there you have it. We are deployed. Lane, why don't you tell everyone what we are doing here today?
We are playing the glorious game of Warhammer 40,000. Our deployment today is Tipping Point. So I guess it's the Lego bricks one is what we'll be calling this one. Our primary mission today is Terraform. This is where we get 4 points for each objective we control. However, we can terraform, do an action on a no man's land objective. And if we successfully complete that, remember it completes at the end of our opponent's next turn. If we successfully complete that, we will get 2 points every each one of our command phases for the rest of the game, whether we hold it or not. So it just depends on whether you can survive through that turn or not. And then our mission special rule for today is swift action. All this means is that any battle line units can advance or fall back and still do actions today.
Alrighty, so as for deployments, I initially had, enhancement I took allows me to select 3 units and give them infiltrate. I selected Draxus and her squad, as well as 1 squad of subjugators to give infiltrate.
Subductors, DJ.
I'm never going to get this right. Subductors. Then the rogue trader entourage gives their squad infiltrate. So initially, I put the rogue trader entourage and the subductors over here. Now, before we determine who goes first, I roll a d3, and that's how many units I can pick up, redeploy, or position somewhere, or put them in strategic even. I rolled a 3, so I just wiggled her squad a little bit. That's where Draxus and company are. I picked the subjugators up and the subductors up, as well as the rogue traders. Rogue traders went into strategic with their breachers, and the subductors came over here. So that was a nice thing to be able to do. I'm starting to see some value still behind that ability, since you can kind of see where your opponent deploys and put stuff down there and go, haha, now I'm going to overload over here and play the game over here. Back here, we got a squad of Voidsmen at Arms. Then we have our 2 rhinos out on the field. The rhino to my left has double kill team. This one with a little AdMech dude riding on top is the one with a single kill team and a Voidsmen of Arms squad inside. to do some secondary mission plays over there. Got both of our Armiger Warglaves holding up the backfield to see where the game progresses. With the Hecatons, I don't have a lot of answers to them except spend CP and smack them with the Death Watch, I think. But the bikes, I need to remove them, as well as make sure I can keep the Sagittars at bay. So that's really it for... Oh, and then the Eversor is right here.
He's ready to go.
9-inch scout move. And Calidus is back here. Guess you can pick up and go. Yeah, 9-inch scout move. He can pick up and go. I like to use him fast, furious, and just destroy things. We'll see. If I go second, he has many pieces of terrain that he can fall back into safely. Your turn, Lane.
All right. So I've got my Jaegers out here in the middle of the table, blocking out a spot for my units to scout move up. DJ can't really take advantage of a lot of his infiltrate abilities because Votann have so much scout. All the jet bikes have a 9-inch scout move, and the Sagittars have a 6-inch scout move. So it's just, I put so much pressure on. So anything he infiltrated with or would be in the middle of the table would probably get picked up right away in turn 1. But yeah, we've got Sagittar with the choppy guys. I totally forgot. Berserks. We have 3 man of the bikes. We have a Sagittar with a 5-man of the Hearthkin Warriors in there. We have 2 Hecatons. Each Hecaton has a 3-man of the Thunderkin with the Grav Blast Cannons. We have the 6-man jet bikes right up here in the middle, ready to go forward and cause
This one's underneath,
damage.
Not up top.
And then, again, it's another Sagittar with some Hearthkin and 3 jet bikes here. The only thing I have in Deep Strike is the 10-man brick of Hearthguard.
So for me, I have the Rogue Trader and Breachers in Strategic, and I have 1 squad of Voidsmen at Arms also in Strategic. So that's that. Lane, do you want to go first or second?
Sure. Either one would probably be fine. Go out there. If I go first, I can probably start trying to terraform something. So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, for Lane, just for you. There's 2 things. One thing real quick. The Navigator that appears in my videos is actually not going to be playing today. Instead, I have this really awesome model I've been waiting to debut. This right here is going to be my Navigator. And for those who don't know, this is actually the pilot for the Warlord Titan. There he is over there. So today, the pilot of the Warlord Titan will be my Navigator. And yay, I get to use this model. I'm happy. And since Lane forgot this here last time, for the roll-off to determine who goes first, I will be using this. This is an Imperial Agent's dice. One of his old Death Watch dice will be used against him.
Use my own dice against me.
Yes. All right. I really would like to go first. I don't like where I'm at, and I would like to get my infiltrators into the game before you really start picking things up. So going first would be nice. Let's see. Dice bless me. I missed, and you rolled a 6.
I did. You might roll a 6 too.
Now I got to roll my own dice because my dice is on. Lane's dice is on the ground. Nope, that's a 2. All right. So we have some scout moves. We'll talk about those into the middle of our movement phase because Lane, you have to scout move first.
I do, but I also have some gifts to give you.
And I have 1 scout move as well. We'll talk about those in the beginning. And then Lane, it's time to play the game.
For my first turn, we pull Cleanse and Recover Assets. That means we're going to be busy doing some actions. So I did have some scout moves. I actually moved these jet bikes back a little bit here. I'm going to move them over so they're within 6 inches of the table. So at the end of DJ's turn, they can scoop up and do something. These jet bikes moved forward so they can cleanse here. This Hecaton just kind of positioned a little bit. This Hecaton moved up here, and he's going to recover assets from me here. So this Sagittar will be recovering assets in my deployment zone. This Hecaton will be recovering assets outside my deployment zone. Over here, we just pushed forward with everything. We're going to try to kill this squad of subductors because I marked them with 2 judgment tokens, and if I successfully kill them, then I get 3 command points at the beginning of my next command phase. So that's a lot of fun.
And then you have a Sagittar over here that's cleansing.
Yep, the Sagittar is cleansing. This Sagittar and these bikes are going to shoot, and then the Jaegers are going to shoot, and if need be, maybe they can charge. So, yeah, we'll do a little bit of business here and see what happens. Did a bit of shooting here. DJ made a bunch of saves from both the Sagittar and the jet bikes. The Sagittar did put his high-last beam cannon into the Rhino, and I got 2 wounds through, but I rolled 1s for my D6, so I only did 2 damage there. He made a bunch of saves, though, when the bikes and the Sagittar were shooting at the guys here, the subductors. So I did spend a CP and have the Jaegers throw a grenade. They did pick up 4 guys, and then with their shooting, were able to finish it off down to the man.
They did all the damage.
Yeah.
They did literally all the damage.
Yeah, I think I killed a couple beforehand, but yeah, a bunch of shot pistols from them. And then we're going to try and charge the Eversor here, see if we can get into a fight. And we had a little fight over here. So I charged in with the Jaegers at the assassin, and DJ did heroic intervene with the subductors there. And once he brought them all in, I just decided to fight the subductors just because I figured the assassin probably wouldn't have a good target on the table for anything else. So I just figured I'd pick up a few subductors. And I did. I picked up 5 of them in the combat there, and then he wrecked everything except one last Jaeger. 1 Jaeger survives, thus tying up both these units for DJ's turn. So I scored cleanse on 2 and then recover assets and spending on another 2, and did get my kill of one of the judgment token units. So I get 3 command points at the start of my next command phase. On to DJ's turn.
For the Imperial agents, we're looking at secure no man's land and behind enemy lines. So behind enemy lines, you're allowed to shuffle out in the first game tournament. But because I picked up my Calidus Assassin, I'm going to take the 3 points and go after secure no man's land. So and we're in position for that too as well. So Calidus is landing over here. If Lane wants to take her out, he's going to have to dedicate some things to come back and finish her off, which might be worth it, but that means he's going to have to turn stuff around. So I'll take that. Over here, we did disembark the kill team before moving, advanced, and we're up here, so they're able to charge. So they can charge onto the objective and beat up one of these Sagittars to get them off the table, or finish off these bikes, whichever, whatever, however, whoever. We're still stuck in combat over here, which that's lame. Eversor is going to try and pistol the way out of there and just shoot him down with a pistol. We'll see how that goes. And then the Rhino just scooted up to get ready for later game turns and stuff like that. The Navigator stepped out. He's going to try and do some mortal wound action and make them take a fail and take a battle shock on these bros. And then over here, Draxus moved out. We are touching the objective, but we need to basically take that entire squad out to take them out. We did give ourselves the +1 to wound onto this unit, so hopefully Draxus is going to... +1 to hit. So hopefully Draxus and company can take them down. And then the Knight moved into position too, so the Armiger to put some shots in there as well. This Rhino advanced up the middle and has tagged that objective, so that's one of our secure no man's lands. Secures no man's lands. That does not sound right. Now it's just a matter of getting one of these other 2 on the left or right. Should be able to. It's just going to matter of how. All right. Well, time to do some shooting. So here was our biggest impact of shooting. Draxus and company did really good at still picking up the non-infantry unit to give us our secure no man's land. Thank you, guys. Then over here, the Rhino will get us our second part. Now, shooting over here didn't do too much. We didn't really have that much because we're kind of positioning in combat. I positioned the Armiger to go at these guys and shoot at them. But considering they're at 1 wound and we're looking at an 8-inch charge, I really want to stick that charge. The damage was really from the Navigator, who made them tail a battle shock. So they're currently battle shocked. And so we're going to try and charge them with the Armiger. And depending on if the Armiger makes it in or not is where the kill team is going to charge. Because we could multi-charge both of the Sagittars just to slow up one of them and bonk one of them pretty good.
And the Eversor did pick up the last Jaeger with his pistol.
He pistoled him. He pistoled him good. All right. Let's do some charging. So we completed some charges, didn't complete some hits. And, well, let's see. Well, here's what happened. So we charged and we failed with Armiger, but succeeded with the Eversor and the Subductors. Then we charged both of these guys with the kill teams. So we put the 2 hammers over here, Lane Pop Void Armor, and then we smacked over here with the rest of the kill team, dropping this one down to 1, and this one's down to 3. And that's not good that we didn't take either one of them out. But, I mean, then we can take them out in later turns. I mean, they're not going to be able to shoot me. The guys can disembark. The guys are going to get out anyway, so...
Maybe you'll pull bring it down next turn.
Exactly. If I pull bring it down, that is the entire tech, and that was the play. Exactly.
Exactly. DJ did that on purpose.
So over here, guess who was the one that finished off the jet bike and did 2 damage? The Eversor. Subductors didn't do that. It was all Eversor. And then the Subductors, they all whiffed horribly, but their good old dog, the goodest of boys, did actually hit, just not wound. But he hit. It's important. So for the turn, we did secure No Man's Land for 5 and behind enemy lines for 3. And we're going to shift it over to Lane and his turn 2.
All right, so we pulled Established Locus and Secure No Man's Land. Unfortunately, both these Sagittars failed Battle Shock, so we're going to have to do something else to secure this No Man's Land. So they stayed in engagement with the Death Watch, but the Berserks got out, and they'll do some Berserking.
How does it feel, Lane? You're going to have to charge and kill your own Death Watch. How does it feel? How does it feel?
It's so sad. It's so sad. But at least it's my little squats that are doing it. So, and then this Hecaton scooched up here, so you can shoot at this Rhino and maybe charge some Death Watch, do a little tank shock, because we do have 4 command points that we can spend.
12, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This Hecaton is ready to shoot the Rhino as well, and the little guys got out here so they can establish Locus within 6 inches of the center. This Sagittarius moved forward and got these guys on this objective. I have kind of sacrificed my home field objective, so we'll see what happens there. But and then the jet bikes came in here so we can shoot into this Armiger Warglaive. So we'll do a little bit of shooting, see what happens. Shooting.
A lot happened here.
Armiger got picked up by the jet bikes, did a lot of work, and then this Hecaton finished him off with his bolt cannons.
All right, so how were the bikes able to do work? Come on. You did a lot this turn.
Because they're jet bikes. They're awesome.
This is what happens when Votann suddenly get 4 command points at the start of their turn.
So we spent 1 on the sustained, and because the Armiger had judgment tokens on them, it becomes sustained 2 with the strat. So, and the jet bikes just have a ton of shots between their auto cannons and the high last rotor cannons, so they just poured a lot of fire into them. Got them down to 2 wounds, and so that was up to the Hecaton to finish him off there. The Hecaton also put a couple shots here, but DJ did pop smoke into the Rhino, so this Hecaton didn't do any damage. The other Hecaton did do a little bit of work on him, but the Rhino was still there. That was
totally my Lane move. How many times Lane has crashed a vehicle in the center on me and then popped smoke on an army that has like a 4-up or worse ballistic skill and just laughed as I just missed entirely. That was Lane tactics right there.
Using tactics with my own models.
I'm using Lane's Lane tactic.
I hope you feel good about yourself.
I feel splendid.
So, I didn't pick up the Rhino. That's fine. These guys jumped out to establish Locus in the midden objective here. These little guys got out here so we can secure No Man's Land. We'll see if maybe we want to charge these guys. Maybe we'll have a little fun with a little bit of charging. And then over here, we just shot our shots into the Death Watch from the Sagittars. Even though they're hitting on 5s, we did pick up a couple of them. So I'm going to charge the Hecaton Smoke Wagon in here and see if we can tank shock, do a little bit of work there. But that's really it. Now it's just time for fighting. And then we'll see what happens. So we charged in with the Berserks and the Hecaton. Hecaton tank shocked the 5 mortals. And then the rest of the Berserks swung into the Watchmaster because he was always left. He almost survived. DJ spiked his 4-up inbounds, but we did manage to pick him up. And then this squad over here, Eversor picked up a bike and a half. So there was only 1 jet bike left with 1 wound. And then what happened? The dog. The dog finished off the final
fight on death. So I rolled a 5. The dog got to fight on death, and he finished off those guys. Just wanted to let him go out with style, and sure enough, he did it. And if I'm wrong and the dog doesn't fight on death, let the dog have his day.
He fought on death, no matter what anybody says. He's such a good dog. Anyways, we established Locust with these guys in the middle, and we secured No Man's Land here and here. So we scored some secondaries, and we'll go on to DJ, see what he does.
For this turn, I'm looking at area denial and engage on all fronts. So I picked up the Calidus, and that's where we'll start off with that. That happened at the end of Lane's turn. So the Rhino moved into center to perform area denial. Check. Engage on all fronts. We still have our backfield here. That's 1. These guys are hanging out over here, so that's 2. We have a whole mob back here that we're going to talk about in a second. That's 3. And looks like we're clearing half field with this whole mop of stuff here, so we're going to be able to engage. So a good turn of scoring. So now, after that, without any, secondaries that require actions for this turn, we're going to try and do some damage. So we did pop the Eversor into Super Saiyan mode. He charged up over here, so he's going to be able to charge into these Thunderkin. Lane did Overwatch for this turn and smacked some of his own Death Watch Marines.
He made me kill my own babies.
Yep. 3 of those guys went down, so we still have the 2 hammers and the Watchmaster to go and charge into the Hecaton.
Yeah, the Thunderkin Overwatch on 5, so they got some hits.
So that Overwatch is good. Lane is down to 1 CP, and we'll talk about why in a second. This round moved up. Neither one of these advanced, so they're both going to be able to shoot off their Hunter-Killer missiles this turn, just to get those used. Over here, we disembarked the other squad of Kill Team and advanced with them, so they're right there in the middle, ready to charge in. We disembarked the squad from the other Rhino. This was a squad of Void's Men-at-Arms to be on the objective and be OC2. The Subductors, I'll get it right. Battle shocked, and then just moved in position also to charge there. Hopefully, he's going to be the one that charges in there and finishes that off, and is in position to actually just, pick up the other Sagittar. So we're in a real good position to do a lot of damage over here. Lane decided to rapid ingress over here with the Hearthguard. So even after we do some damage, we're going to have these Hearthguard to contend with, and that's going to be very rough. That high toughness and 2-up save is going to be tough to deal with, especially when they'll get first hit on the Kill Team. Let's see, maybe we can get some damage on them before that happens. So for the turn, I spent 1 command point to count it 1 battle round higher for strategic reserves. We picked up the Caldas and dropped her in over here, and started to terraform Lane's home field objective. Then we brought the other squads in just to kind of be a blockade and just block some room out there so that things couldn't get back. And the only thing left to do is going to be we have to do enough damage to this squad to prevent it from really mattering and being able to kill the Caldas. Lane does have a strat that he can fire back at me, so I got to be very, very careful on who I shoot with and when, especially with Drax's Breachers over here. Draxus should be able to pick up these guys, or at least most of them, by herself, making it so this squad can put a Melt-A-Gun or something over here. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. All right, let's do some shooting. So this ended up being a really weird turn. Didn't go very well in the shooting, but then one thing happened that might change the direction of things. I took this Armiger and decided to take and shoot him at the Hecaton. Probably not the best move, but in a feat of glory, he got 1 through in Melter range for 9 damage. And then this Hunter-Killer missile got through for 1 damage. But he got through for 9. We did not blow up either one of the Sagittars. I used the grenade strat. 4-0. Rolled 6 dice and rolled 1, 2s, and 3s in doubles. Not a single 4.
It sounds average to me.
So, yeah. But we did. We picked up 1 Berserk, and we got 1 at 1 wound. So we are going to charge in here. We're going to try and do some damage with some different units that we have available over here. So we should hopefully be able to still pick up some stuff over here. That's the plan, at least. Over here, we got these guys down to 1. Well, Draxus did. And then did really not very much damage over here. We were not able to do with either squad quite a bit. We got 1 guy down to 1 wound. So in order to pull off this Terraform, I'm really going to need to stick 1 of these charges onto that unit. Actually, I'm going to need to stick this charge onto that unit so I can probably put enough combat into it to hopefully be able to pick it up. All right, let's charge. Damage-wise was still a little wonky in the fight phase. Weird ways. So, Armiger easily picked up the Sagittar with 1 wound left. We swept attack and took it out. Then I went with the Subductors. They finished off the 1 dude who swung back. these guys, the damage from their fight on deaths, 2 models that died that both attacked the subductors did no damage into the subductors. They were able to stop. They took 1 and then 0, so they did good with that. It was when the unit actually got to attack, and they just swept. They absolutely just swept them. I may have like 0 saves. So then they went away. The Death Watch kill team, unfortunately, they did fail to pick up. I think they picked up 1.5 models for some wounds with off the power weapons. The Watchmaster and both of the hammers. We put 1 hammer over here, and he did get through to put 3 wounds onto this Hecaton. So he's down to 3. This one, the Watchmaster had 2 wounds and rolled a 1 and a 1. We already did our free command point strat for this battle round to try to grenade this thing out. This thing is just being the bane of my absolute existence. But it's all a tech play. We're going to come back to that in a second.
See, DJ hasn't pulled Bring It Down yet, so it's no sense in killing a Sagittarius.
Exactly. And also, because of the fact that the kill teams have yet to kill a unit, this means they don't get a judgment token.
No judgment tokens on them.
Totally, and like Lane said, I have this one, the Hecaton, damaged for Bring It Down. I totally planned all this. This was not an accident that we just realized is a good scenario for those situations. Completely planned it. I can see the future. Anyways, over here, Eversword does what Eversword does into infantry. Just pick them up simply and quick. No damage into my Deathwatch Marines, but these guys over here, that Voidsman squad I brought on, stuck an 11-inch charge. And then the Hecaton they punched the Hecaton for 1 wound. The Hecaton did not like that and actually smacked 3 of them off the table in close combat, sadly. Same thing happened over here. These Hecaton are really not happy with Voidsman at Arms, and they smacked 3 over here, including a dog, man. We finished off the last of the Hearthkin warriors in there, and we're able to finish off the last bike over here. These guys failing the charge, so it'll be interesting to see if my Terraform play actually plays out. It was a sacrificial play, but you know what? I'm not too upset about it, because that means Lane has to spend resources and bring them back to kill the Calidus so I don't terraform. That's also very interesting in this, as a lot of his Lane stuff really cannot get out of combat. He can go forward, yeah, but then he won't be able to shoot. And then this one's completely boxed in. The Hearthguard are still a very big threat and are going to do a lot of damage over here, but at least maybe I've slowed down some of the damage on the other side of the board. Let's see how this all plays out. For my turn, I score Area Denial and a max on Engage on all fronts. Over to Lane.
All right, for this turn, I am pulling Storm, Hostile Objective, and Overwhelming Force. So DJ is on lots of objectives, so I should be able to score both of these things somehow. So, yeah. So, yeah, we're just going to kill a bunch of stuff. So the Hearthguard move forward. We're going to do a little bit of work. The last 2 Berserks, they did fail their Battle Shock test. I did fall back with them to open up the charge for them. One of the guys failed the fallback, the Desperate Breakout test. So the Thunderkin jumped out here. They're going to do a little blasting, maybe. And then, yeah, the Hecaton just stayed here. These guys have spent 1 CP for them to fall back, shoot, and charge. So we can pick up the Calidus and stop her terraforming shenanigans. And then this Sagittar just moved up here to storm this hostile objective and try to shoot a few guys here. On to the shooting phase. All right, so shooting, these guys did manage to pick up the Calidus. Over here, they picked up 2 of these guys, and then the Sagittar managed to shoot not even, I don't think I even hit once over here. Totally whiffed. Hecaton didn't really do anything, just took 2 wounds off the Eversor. Not much going on there. Did pick up the Warglaive there, and that's really it. Picked up a couple of the
Hearthguard, yeah, the Hearthguard really picked them up.
Yeah. So now we're going to do a little bit of charging and go from there. So in combat, we finished off this Deathwatch kill team. The Hecaton bonked off these last couple of Voidsmen at Arms. So we took back that objective, guys. Good job. That's it. We didn't really take back any because we charged in here into the Voidsmen, and then DJ did heroic with these guys, and they're breachers, so they're OC2, so they do control this objective. So we stormed 1 hostile objective over here. Overwhelming force, we did kill 2 because we killed the Voidsmen that were there as well. and of course the Calidus that was here too. So this one we're tied on this one.
Nope, I'm control it because I get +1 OC.
Oh yeah, you do control it. Never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. Okay, that's it for my turn. On to DJ.
So for this turn, we're looking at a sabotage and extend battle lines. At the beginning of the turn, I did spend my one and only command point for this round to auto pass the battle shock here, and I placed this objective as a 5-up invulnerable save as well as +1 OC, so I still controlled it this turn, which meant I got a big 15 on primary because I control this objective with breachers, this objective over here, as well as this objective back here that I've controlled. So that puts me in a good position so far. Now, sabotage, we moved the Eversor over here. So we'll get the small sabotage if it completes. Some stuff's tied up over there, so hopefully we can keep it tied up. We did bring back our one dude that we lost in there, so they'll be able to smack and shoot. And we got some pistols in there, some cool pistols too. Over here, nothing really we can do about this big pocket except fall back with the Rhino and put it in the most weird, obscure way that really prevents things like the Hecaton and the Sagittar from being able to get a straight path into there, kind of making them have to blow that thing up before you want to get going. At least that's the plan. So, extend battle lines, we basically just score. Yeah. And now we're going to try and do some shooting and see if we can't do a little bit of damage. One thing I did forget to mention, the Death Watch kill team have the ability to fall back and advance as well as, fall back, advance, and still shoot and charge. So I did fall back. I fell back from that side underneath over to here so that there was never a point at the beginning or end of their move that they were eligible to be overwatched. And they'll be able to charge in so that the Watchmaster can get his lance effect. Shooting-wise, these guys in their pistols did pretty good. They picked up the one dude that had 2 wounds left, and we're able to finish off another one. No other excess wounds over there, so I'll take it. Toughness 6, these guys are tough. And they do have some cool pistols, and because they're on an objective, I get full re-rolls to wound, which is nice. The real story of the shooting phase was over here, the little melt-a-gun that could.
Oh, so bad.
Drax, nothing. Nothing. Which, I mean, granted, that's not infantry. Melt-a-gun hits, wounds, goes right through and rolls a 6 in melter range, leaving it at just 1 wound left. So we are going to charge in there and try and punch it, and hopefully Draxus can finish it off there. Because we do have the reroll wounds still, so that'll be nice. And we're going to charge back in here and see if we can't do some more damage to this Hecaton. All right, let's do it. So we charged in over here, and actually we were able to do damage in combat to the Hecaton. But it wasn't them. It was the last little void within an arm. He punched. Save failed. He did 1 damage. Good job, buddy. Then over here, the rogue traders did some decent damage, plus the shooting. We're just kind of picking the squad away, and because they're not a combat unit, and we've had 2 rounds of combat with them, we're able to just get a little bit of damage, just keep getting that little bit through. Over here, Draxus punched a Sagittar, which was nice. So that's going to end the turn. We're waiting on the sabotage if Lane takes the Eversor out or not. And that's basically... Oh, and then we got engaged on all fronts. All right, kicking it over to Lane and his turn.
So we pulled behind enemy lines and marked for death.
By the way, I wasn't engaged on all fronts. It was extend battle lines. That was what I scored. I said engage on all fronts. My bad. Carry on.
So I once spent 1 CP for the last 2 jet bikes to fall back and shoot. DJ did an Overwatch here and did pick up one of the bikes. They Melt-A-Gun finished off the last one there.
Yeah,
so
Melt-A-Gun. Go Melt-A-Gun.
Yeah, hit on the 6 and got on through. So that's that. We just scooched around here a little bit. And I'm going to have the Berserks are going to terraform here. And then Hecaton fell back here a little bit so we can shoot down at these guys. Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of shooting here and see what happens. So shooting between the Hearthguard and the Hecaton, we did manage to pick up the Rhino here. The Rhino did explode, and it managed to do a couple wounds to the Hecaton and picked up the Calidus. So the Calidus, Eversor. The Eversor does not able to do sabotage when he's dead.
And score 5 points for Mark for death.
And score me 5 for Mark for death. So, little bike guy shot in here. Hackathon shot in here. Killed most of this. We got 1 infantry and then the character left there. And that's everybody a little bit charging here. See how it goes. So, Hearthguard charged in and finished off the Rhino. And then the Death Watch swung and finished off the Hackathon. That's the end of my turn. Scored Mark for death.
Hammer time.
And that's about it. Pitching behind enemy lines for a CP.
This turn I got Sabotage still from last and Overwhelming Force. So this unit is now no longer with the Breachers. It's kind of weird on how this works. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think I can bring the Breachers back. Which means they're back at full strength because they're just the rogue traders of 4 models. They're going to go into this corner and try and sabotage an objective that is in Lane's deployment zone to get that big 6 points off on that. Drax has passed her ability check, so she now cannot be targeted by a unit that's outside of 18 inches, and they're going to try and terraform this objective. Over here, we moved the Deathwatch Marines, so they can toss a grenade here for free, and then they can charge here with my CP to try and finish off this guy. All right, let's see how it all works out. Success. The grenade did literally just 3 damage and picked up the Hackathon, and then we didn't even need the CP, so we're going to carry that command point over to the next round, and we got ourselves that little bike out of the backfield. So I am going to pitch Overwhelming Force because I don't really see myself being able to pick that up, and we will see if we can get that 6-point sabotage over to Lane.
All right, so couldn't really do anything here. I got Defend Stronghold and Sabotage, kind of stuck there, so... Oh, this Sagittar, he passes Battle Shock. He's going to scooch up and sabotage there. That's that. And then
you got sabotage? There you go.
Yeah. That's that. Just going to be scoring sabotage on DJ's turn. That's it on his.
All right, so my turn. We just as we would call this in the NFL, we took a knee. We drew. We did score our sabotage ever so nicely, and then we drew Defend Stronghold and Establish Locust. Now, originally, we did have a different card. We had Bring It Down, which only 1 Sagittar left. Lane also changed it up as soon as he said it. Instead, he kept the Sagittar here, kept the unit, the 5-man out, so they're sabotaging to score him the points, because this Sagittar only had 1 wound left, and if that was the case, I would have attacked. Otherwise, take a knee. Spent the 1 CP to shuffle out, so we had Sabotage, or I'm sorry, not Sabotage. Defend Stronghold and Establish Locust. Establish Locust back here. Defending this Stronghold because we have that little 5-man hanging out there with the Navigator back here. And as far as primaries are concerned, we hold that objective, this objective, as well as this objective, which the Deathwatch Marines moved back and terraformed, which finished up at the end of the game to give me a big 15. Final score. Ladies and gentlemen, the Imperial agents got a 95.
I cannot believe it.
To the Votann 55.
I believe that even less.
Guys, follow us over to the post game to hear everything that went on in this. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll talk to you again real soon.